Coming up here on Chicago Bears Now, Caleb Williams. Yes, he's had his ups and downs, but he is showing a big franchise quarterback trait that you really, really need to have. We'll talk about that trait next here on Bears Now. But before we do it, show QB1 some love. We're filming this live on Monday, so happy birthday to Caleb Williams, 23 years old today. Get the 1-8 in the comment section down below, and let's talk about the quarterback next. I'm Harrison Graham. Caleb is clutch. You can say what you want to say. You can compare his raw stats to the other rookie quarterbacks, yada, yada, yada. We can do all that stuff. One thing that the data shows is in the biggest moments of the games, in the close games, when it matters most, he has clutched up, and he has more than done his job in those situations. Unfortunately, his head coach and at times team around him have not done their job. Don't believe me? Let's just dive into some of the data. First, his fourth quarter stats. When do you want your quarterback playing the best? In the fourth quarter. Well, his stats by quarter are as follows. First quarter, fine. Second quarter, third quarter, not nearly as good. Fourth quarter, it's up across the board. Completion percentage, I guess he's got more yards in the second quarter, but most touchdown passes along with the second quarter. Just the one interception, which I think was against the Colts. Can't remember now, but he's been money in the fourth quarter. He really, really has. The stats in the eye test don't lie. They just don't. Like, trust your eyes and then look at the data and see if it meshes together. In the fourth quarter, especially in high leverage situations, which we'll talk about the Washington and Packers game a little bit later, he's played his best ball. Now, some of that is he hasn't played great in some of the other quarters, especially in the second and third. He's been up and down this year. He had a really bad 3-game stretch, although in the first of those 3 games, he had an awesome fourth quarter in Washington. I'm acknowledging he's been up and down. He apologized to the team for not playing well enough after Shane Waldron got fired. I think that says a lot about his character. But he has been clutch in 2 high-leverage games and in 2 high-pressure situations, and it's unfortunate that the Bears have let him down in those situations. Help us out. We're trying to get to 109,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're less than 400 subs away here on Bears Now. So lock us in. That math isn't right, but it's all good. Producer Jack changed one of the numbers, forgot to change the other one. And listen, we're talking football. It is what it is. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 109,000. All right, fourth quarter stats, fourth down stats. This kind of shocked me because I was like, really? The Bears have gone for fourth down this many times? I guess the answer is yes. On fourth down this year, Caleb Williams is 15 of 18, 158 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that is pretty damn clutch on fourth down. That is pretty damn money on fourth down. I mean, 15 of 18 regardless of down is like, this guy is in the zone. Fourth down, he's missed 3 out of 18 throws. I mean, we saw it on Saturday or on Sunday, right? I mean, the back shoulder fade to Rome. He hit Roschon while getting hit on another one for a first down. He converted multiple with his arm. So he's been money on fourth down. And, again, when you're going through this process, you've got a rookie quarterback. There's ups and downs. You look for things that tangible and intangible things that you can build upon. I would say finishing games strong, when the game's on the line, playing well, making big plays in those moments, that carries a lot of weight for me personally, and I know for these teams. What did Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus talk a lot about? Not that I care what Flus has to say. And what was a big talking point around Justin Fields? He shrinks in the fourth quarter as a passer. I'm not trying to rip the guy, but the data shows the fourth quarter, especially in close games, was easily his worst quarter. And this was over 3 years of data. Early on, small sample size, Caleb in the fourth quarter has played really, really, really well. And that has me excited for the future. So he's been good in the fourth quarter. He's been good on fourth down. What's the next statistic I want to dive into? The next thing I want to dive into? We'll do that next. But first, I do want to tell you about our friends, our sponsor over at PrizePicks. Get started today. Create an account. Get in on the action. Maybe you're like me and you drafted Christian McCaffrey in your season-long fantasy draft, and he's been hurt most of the year. And honestly, since he's come back, he hasn't been that good. Well, That's where PrizePicks comes in. Daily fantasy, all sports available. You can change lineups every day. You're not stuck with players who are injured or who are just having bad seasons. You can pick new players all the time. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS when you sign up and create an account, because if you do that, when you play for just $5, only $5, doesn't matter if you win or lose your first entry, you're going to get a $50 deposit bonus straight into your account. It's an awesome deal. Extra money to play with. I got a little two-player entry from last week that I won. I'm looking to win again this week. Going to fire multiple entries because now I got some extra money, not only with the code CLNS, but since I hit this one, I had DJ more on his receiving yards. I felt like Jordan Love would throw a pick, and he did. 5 to win just less than 15 on that one, because that was a goblin pick for the Love interception with that little green goblin there. If you see a red demon, those are a little tougher to hit, but more bang for your buck. Check out PrizePicks today. Lots of different action you can get in on at prizepicks.com/CLNS. When you use the code CLNS, again, you get a $50 bonus into your account once you play for $5 initially. Go check it out. All right, lastly, his play when trailing late, how he's played. He has shown the clutch gene. I know these all kind of tie together, fourth quarter, etc., but let's just show 3 specific drives in particular. Example number 1, second to last drive against Washington. And this is in a game where Caleb struggled and, quite frankly, played like shit for 3 quarters. But he turned it on in the fourth quarter. 9-play drive, 84 yards. Caleb on that drive, 4 for 4, 50 yards. And then what happens? Shane Waldron hands the ball off to Doug Kramer, and he fumbles. I shouldn't say Shane handed off. He called a play to Doug Kramer in which he fumbled on the goal line. Should have been 7 points on the board. Instead of not even getting 3, you get 0. And that was with about 5 minutes left. In a game where points were at a premium and driving down multiple times is going to be tough. Well, what does he do? He comes back after the Bears defense gets a stop, does it again. 10 plays, 62 yards, including a 4th down conversion. Caleb 2 for 4, 38 yards, 5 rushing yards, Roschon Johnson touchdown. Oh, shocker, you hand it to Roschon. Better things happen on the goal line than Doug Kramer in that high leverage of a situation. So he drove him down not once but twice, back against the wall, took the lead with less than 30 seconds in that one. What happens? Well, your coach screws up down the stretch. You give up the Hail Mary. Late game example number 3, just this Sunday against the Packers. 7 plays, 42 yards. And this was after the first 2 plays on this drive go for -9, 2 sacks. One his fault for -1. Second one, Braxton Jones got destroyed. He didn't really have a chance. Caleb goes 3 for 3 on that drive, 49 yards, all tough throws. The 3rd and 19, he evades pressure, ducks out of a sack, throws on the run to Rome for 16. Back shoulder fade, very difficult throw, rookie to Rome for 21. And then he hits Keenan Allen on a 12-yard out route, facing a 7-man blitz, which he checked into a max protection so that could be picked up. Gets him into field goal range. We all know what happens. Matt Eberflus took the ball out of his hands, and Cairo Santos missed the field goal. And this, just getting back to the Flus discussion, I hate to always bring it back to Flus, but the guy just wears me out. Get Up, ESPN threw this up as a graphic on their show on Monday. Cairo Santos, since joining the Bears, inside 40 yards, is I think he's actually 71-71, so I think they're 1 field goal off there. But 100% from 45+, he's 76%. So still a good percentage. But Matt, who pointed to a fumble that could happen in that spot, you only fumble on 0.46% of plays this year. So less than half a percentage chance outweighed 24% there. Now, I don't even think he acknowledged that data. I don't think he was even thinking inside 40, Cairo's never missed. I think he was probably thinking, well, 46 is in Cairo's range. Let's not risk anything. He later said during his Monday press conference, well, you could have a penalty there. You could take a sack. You could, all kinds of things could happen. In other words, you're expecting your team to make a mistake. You don't trust your players. That's what that told me. And so what pisses me off is that not only has Matt Eberflus cost your team to be in playoff contention just in those 2 games, not even talking about the Colts game, not even talking about just laying a complete egg against New England, just the game at Washington where the handoff to Kramer and the mismanaging of the final 2 plays led to the Hail Mary, and the game against Green Bay where he doesn't go for the 4th down and he doesn't keep the ball in Caleb's hands for some extra yards. Just those 2 games cost Caleb Williams 2 signature fourth quarter victories, and a 6-4 record where you're firmly in the playoff hunt. You are firmly in the playoff hunt. You have the same record as Green Bay if you do those things. You actually have a better record than Washington. They'd be 6-5. You'd be the 6th seed right now if your coach just wasn't moronic in big spots. Forget the other losses. Just those two insane games to lose because of your head coach. So in conclusion, Caleb's had his ups and downs. I'm not acting like he's been awesome. I'm not acting like he's going to Canton. But I think he's wired the right way. I think he's got the clutch gene already. He's shown. Doesn't mean he's going to do well every time in those situations, but he's shown he can do that. He can handle that. And he's growing. Yeah, there was a little 3-week setback. You get rid of Shane Waldron, all of a sudden it looks competent again. I don't know. We'll see how it goes the rest of the year. But I'm not worried about his mental toughness. I'm not worried about his talent and his ability. I'm worried about the coach and this guy being here. Like, Matt Eberflus has to go. So feel good about where Caleb's at. Certainly wish things had been smoother up to this point. But I think all in all, I still feel confident about him being the franchise quarterback. Do you agree with me? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Do you think the Bears finally have a franchise quarterback? I do think the answer is yes, but they got to get the right coach. All right, there you have it. Caleb Williams showing the clutch gene early on in his career. Unfortunately, failures around him have cost him 2 of those signature moments. We'll continue to cover this team on a daily basis, so subscribe to Bears Now.